Hello everyone, Contestants42, your lone archiver here, and today we will be doing a defense mission on Martel. This was recorded originally on October 20th. There's been a lot of defensive nonsense as of late from the bots because we had to A, fight off the Jet Brigade, and then B, defend 5 bot planets for the exact major order after that one. During this time, I've been focused on having my editing time for other games. Various Halloween events happened, so I'm gonna get back into the swing of actually editing things with just a very simple video in which I just upload this defense. Defense missions are very rough for a lot of people. They've been made easier with the new map arrangements and the new way that enemy targeting works for the generators, but they're still very difficult. The key thing you have is you have 2 different maps. One that we're going to be playing where the generators are actually set in pretty well in the back and don't really have a good defensive line. Instead, you have 1 main choke point and then 2 high grounds to either side the bots can flank you from. When you're fighting against bots in these situations, your main goal is to always take out light bot. As you should well know, light bots are how they spawn in more bot drops. And while there is guaranteed to spawn bot drops in this map, they do also have their own unique timer for spawning in reinforcements, which lets them push you back. You can take a recoilless rifle and shoot out the main area of a dropship before it releases any of its units to kill everything on it. And a recoilless rifle user is also really good because you can take out barrager tanks, or tanks of any variety for that matter, but barrager tanks specifically are very annoying, and it's good to have the recoilless rifle to take out factory striders. The spear technically can do the same job, however the spear has 2 major drawbacks. One, when it's trying to take out factory striders, it can't aim directly for the weak spots to take them out in a single rocket. And similarly, you can have a hard time hitting the actual dropship. Sometimes you'll lock onto large enemies on the dropship, sometimes you'll hit a thruster because you don't exactly have a perfect aim because it just fire and forget missile. And because of that, just take a recoilless rifle. Besides that, you're going to want to take anything that lets you slow down the whole advancement of the group. Anything with explosive properties is really good for this. Anything with high magazines are really good for this. It's just the normal things you would probably use to take out hordes of light bots and devastators. Those are the kind of weapons you want to have. Because of this, I'm using laser pistol to take care of the little boys. And then I have the HMG encampment for when we encounter hordes of devastators. Just because I find the laser pistol very useful for, taking out the things. What are those things called? The rocket rockers. Shooting the rockets out with the laser pistol I find very easy. Oh, cool, it's the other map type. Or it's just a weird... No, it's just now nighttime. You'll see me do 2 things with my mortars here. A, I put them in a place where they'll crush those boxes because I don't find them actually useful as cover because V2 rockets can take them out in a single shot, and I don't like relying on cover that can be exploded so easily. And you'll also see me drop my resupply and my recoilless rifle up here on the high ground. I like putting the first resupply back so that way you can fall back onto it as necessary. I then check down here because occasionally a railgun can spawn, and that could be useful for situations where I don't need to fire a recoilless rifle shot at something, like for example, shoot a Hulk in the eye. And then I do some other looting just to see if there's anything else that spawned around. Usually you can also find a recoilless rifle here. Yeah, nothing spawned in either of the 2 spots for support weapons. I'm gonna check up top for the sniper spot. There is a sniper. Is something I'm just going to put around the corner here because it's a more convenient position. Now there is a loaded sniper for when we need it. When you encounter bot drops, you'll notice they'll always come in from the same direction from map spawn till the end of this specific mission. This can be useful when they come in at an angle which is in front of you or to the sides. That way you can snipe them before they can drop their payloads. But in this situation, because they're dropping over top of us, it's not really good because then the moving part of the dropship will just crash down onto us, which puts us in a bad position. Box is mostly set up on taking care of the reinforced rocket walkers with the HMG, while I take care of the larger targets with the AT. Okay, that bounced off. I fired too fast. I have to relax. The Jet Brigade can quickly close gaps, meaning you get a lot of situations where they call in bot drops inside the base rather than outside the base. We get our first instance of this here, and I set up a new HMG when also just like resupplying at the resupply and decide, alright, well, it's recast the sentry time. Recast your sentries as often as possible. It's very important those have perfect uptime. I then see off to our left side that we've got a big boy.
Have a taste of democracy! What?
That somehow wasn't an eye hit.
Liberty, take me! How'd you like to taste of freedom?
Okay. For context, I sound confused because normally it's only 2 shots with a recoilless rifle to the head without hitting the eye to take one of these things out. But in this scenario, I'm pretty sure I hit the neck piece with the first shot. It couldn't tell in the dark of the moment. The EMS mortars and stun grenades do a great job keeping most things in here in place. Unfortunately, there is actually a second part of the wall on the other side of those boxes that the bots can blow up. Well, you can blow it up too, but you really shouldn't unless it just comes down to it. If it's slightly ajar, I recommend blowing up the rest of the wall that is breakable, just that way you get a little more space to work with. As this berserker begins to gap close on me, I shoot in between its legs, so that way it kind of absorbs most of the explosion when I'm on the floor, and I don't just die to trying to shoot it point blank. This is also why having explosive resist armor can be great against bots, because there's a lot of situations where you do want to use explosive weaponry, but you'll end up exploding yourself if you fire too close. I dive in and out here because that prevents me from being hit by the EMS mortar and being just stuck standing still in front of a tank. Diving is really useful for those sorts of situations. Some people tout it as you should be always diving because it's called Hell Divers. I disagree with this statement just simply on the principle of you can sometimes get trapped in situations when you get knocked to the ground and you just don't want to stay there. I hate it when they move upward like that. I know why they do it, because it's like, oh, we've got to secure a good place to drop, but it's like, really? You gotta do us like that?
Never mind. Calling down a sentry. Requesting sentry. Reloading. Southwest.
Don't worry, I got explosive resist. I'm not that concerned. The smoke from everything burning in front of us is really cinematic, but it also ruins visibility. The fact that I'm hitting these shots, I am very impressed with myself. With a little bit of breathing room afforded to us, I now can have things be marked through the smoke for me and focus on sniping these shredder tanks before they become a big problem crashing right into us. I drop in a second recoilless rifle, and I'm honestly debating whether or not I should have just put this back more towards box just in case I get pushed in that direction. But the reason why having a second one of these down can be nice is that way when you need to fire 2 shots back to back really fast, you just have them both ready. After loading this next shot, we see the Jet Brigade finally make its proper appearance in this mission. Yeah, they're so fucking just easy to shoot. The second their jetpack takes any damage, they will just explode immediately, and not only will that kill them, but they'll also kill like any bot really close by that's smaller than like a Hulk most of the time. The explosion does deal fire damage, so if you're wondering why it just will immediately just like do 1/3 of your health bar and then set you on fire for the remaining 2/3, yeah, it's because it does fire, not explosive damage for whatever reason. This is also why you see Box not only using the fire resist armor, but also a flamethrower, because the fire damage just will immediately make these things explode and then spread more fire around. Having resistance to that is very comical, to say the least.
That's empty. Freedom forever. Not today.
Damn, I didn't end up sniping that factory starter before it dropped. He's bugging out. He going cray-cray. These moments illustrate 2 good points. A, why it's good to have a second recoilless rifle that's preloaded in your back pocket for those moments where something sneaks up around the corner faster than you can finish a load. And then secondarily, this. They look so derpy when they walk up to you and just get a melee hit off and then just walk away just as weirdly. It's just really just, it's slapstick timing is the thing. We have another factory strider to deal with, and oh look at that, there's another one going by. I just got sniped by a cannon turret through smoke that I couldn't see. To add to the list of war crimes rocket walkers can commit, yeah, they can just one-shot generators with V2 rockets just by directly hitting them. Fortunately, I can now get under this damn thing and start using this anti-material rifle I dropped here earlier. In case you haven't been able to tell, this is the point where shit hits the fan, and this is why it's good to have another just thing back here for when shit hits the fan. Box does have thermites to be able to just cover that, but gets shredded by a shredder tank as we fall back. It's always important to focus on bots that are currently shooting the generators before you take care of anything else, simply because one of these things will make you lose immediately, and the other one of these things will make you lose in about 30 seconds. Now we really only have to worry about the main choke, because the left flank's turret is down, meaning that we don't really have to worry about things coming from the left flank, and things have to cross this choke point before they can get around to our right flank. Since I haven't been afforded enough opportunity to get the EMS mortar in, I have to use my own stun grenades here. I drop in a resupply so that way I can get more of these stun grenades, and also the fact that I'm running out of ammo at this anti-material rifle. I expect the first Hulk to be dealt with by Box, so I start focusing on stopping the horde of things from coming in now that we have supplies. it doesn't go that well, just on the nature of there is so many things, and things have definitely gone up shit's creek without a paddle. But stun grenades managed to keep us afloat and stop things from getting around the corner and just sniping the gen. I am even bothering to aim in, so that way I can actually hit these shots accurately, but it doesn't really matter as the things are so close that I'm just trying to focus on getting things done. I then see the factory strider coming in, and knowing that we don't have many good ways to deal with it, it's time to hop on the gun. With the EMS mortar doing my job of constantly stunning things, I have to take care of everything that isn't stunned so that way Box can get up close enough and take things out with the thermite. This is going to be our main strategy going forward until I can get an AT launcher back. Thermites only list their final explosion in their damage, which is 2,000 points. Most bot tank turrets will have 2,100. The rest of that 100 damage can come from the burning time.
Another one.
This can make it a lot better than the EAT or the Quasar, which only just does that 2,000 as its actual shot, and doesn't actually get to one-shot tanks and things because of that when you shoot them in the turret from the front. The downside being that you have to get close enough to throw the thermite, and also have to throw it in a way where it can stick. Meaning you don't always get the same relative power to EATs or the Quasar, but it is an important comparison to make with how similar roles they have. The Shredder tank manages to take out the turret, and because I'm still stationed on it, it takes out me with it. However, we do manage to get the Factory Strider dead, and because corpses do have a collision, the bots are going to have a slightly harder time pushing in for these last few moments. I get caught between a tank and a hard place, and it's not fun, but I do manage to live, and then get around behind it to try and finish it off. Seeing a thermite going at the other one, I just drop a stun to get back around the corner and assist Box with this final defensive push. Okay. With only one generator left standing and the job done, it's time to get out of here. We take the exact upper ground flank route, which can be useful to utilize when you aren't trapped in a situation like ours. Knowing that there's just probably too many things to get by, I drop in a recoilless rifle just in case we need to snipe something, and I'm thinking that something is this tank because it can probably turn around fast enough. We're under the gun depression of the Factory Strider, so we probably could just get by it, but who knows what else is around these corners. The second one in the back, definitely we aren't under the gun depression for. And with that, I have been Quintessence42, your lone archiver. I hope this has been an interesting look into how hectic Tier 10 bots defense missions can go, and how holding on to the end is so very important, with a little bit of pre-planning.
Yeah, I couldn't spam enough stun grenades for that. But we did it, so... Yeah. It was good because after immediately realizing you don't have stuns, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stun every single time that something can move again. Because I didn't want to see what had happened when I had died, where you had to reload as a rocket walker rounded the corner, didn't even care because it was so close to the generators. It was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna shoot this. What even was your primary, by the way? Oh, right, the flamethrower still. I'm guessing you also had to reload your revolver secondary? Yeah. This is almost how every single one of these missions we do it in for the last two major orders has gone, where just something hits the fan and then it just goes crazy from there. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please give it a like. If you have any feedback or comments for me, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you next time, which I hope will be tomorrow. Arrivederci.